Weekend is our grooming weekend, so we have some of Ontario's top groomers on site. They're here to give advice and doing some complimentary mini makeovers for any dogs coming in the building.
More correct, because they're supposed to be crisp, not thick and soft.
Can I make now see this one here is actually a little bit too low on the inside here. I just came down a little bit too low with it. She probably zigged when she should have zagged. Always don't
Always.
Hey, not something too much.
Oh, would you stop with the goosiness? You're just being really goosey.
Not headbang or not headbang.
Oh, and two, sometimes like this here, I would just bring down like this and take my little clipper, if you're comfortable with it, and come right in and you get a nice
And that's
edge
what creates
too.
the bevel,
Yeah.
like the beginning of
Well, it's your start, yeah, and then you can always bevel up with a curve or whatever. But it does give a nice edge. But I just do it with scissors today. But if I'm in a shop and you got to trust your dog's not going to move. You don't want to jab it or anything. Eh?
On a dog?
On a dog.
Couple of things. Number one, on your shedding breeds, a good groom out to remove the dead coat from the winter and the winter coat. Clipping them only exposes them to the sunlight and to the bugs. And it also changes coat texture, so you're incurring more skin and coat problems, so higher vet bills. And that's why Mother Nature would never clip a husky or a collie or a sheltie or a shepherd or golden retriever. So a real proper bath and thorough brushing to get the dead coat out gives them shade from the sun, protection from the bugs, because that skin has never seen the sunlight, so they would burn easy. For your non-shedding dogs, like the poodle or the Bichon Frise, if they've had a lot of hair on through the winter, then yes, taking them down to a reasonable length will definitely keep them cooler for the summer. But especially in spring, they still need protection from the bugs, the black flies, and the mosquitoes. So, getting a good pre-summer cleanup is important.
They're so cute.
It's just too adorable.
What about paws?
In the summer, I like to clip out the hair from between the pads.
Okay.
Because dogs perspire through their feet and through their mouth.
Okay.
So if they have a lot of hair between the undersides of their pads, clipping that out helps with the air circulation and helps them dissipate their body heat.
What do you think about all these things, all the different shoes and things like that people have for their dogs?
It's personal taste. They want to dress them up. Booties do have relevance. I live in a rural area, and they still salt the streets, and it burns my dog's feet. And even I live close to the Trans-Canada Trailway. I wasn't putting the booties on in the winter, and because he marks, like digs so violently after he defecates, he sliced his pad open on ice.
Oh, wow.
So we do boot him up in the winter, and he, it has purpose. He didn't like it at first, but after about 4 times he realized once he got his booties on, his feet weren't getting cold, and the tail's going the whole time. So although people think they look ridiculous, we're doing it for an actual purpose. So for me, you've got a short-haired dog that was made for a warmer climate, then yeah, put a coat on it for the winter. But like this poodle, with that much coat on it, he doesn't need a people coat in the winter. He's got his own winter coat. And we can put him into a bikini for the summer. But just putting clothes on dogs, that's up to the owner. That's a personal thing.
And do puppies actually like all the ornaments? I mean, I've seen some poodles decked out crazy.
Yeah.
Do they like it?
The attention they get. It's like dogs that are colored. Groomers are using vegetable dyes to color dogs, or we've used chalk, but it just rubs off on everything. And the dogs that I know that have been dyed on a consistent basis, they get so much attention. They love it. What they hate is if people are sitting there laughing at them all the time. And the same thing, sometimes you get a dog in that's in really bad condition because the owner didn't know about keeping them maintained, and they get extremely matted. The most humane thing we can do is shave off that matting. To save them the torture of getting all the knots out, to give them styling that the owners can't maintain. So that's not a win-win situation. And guaranteed, they get the dog home and the family starts laughing at the dog. The dog's embarrassed and will hide and go through a certain amount of psychological trauma. Whereas if they just said, "Aren't you beautiful?" and chatted the dog up, the dog wouldn't care. And I find that with the colored dogs, or dogs that are decorated with, little rhinestones on the ears. You can put that on with LePage's glue, and it looks like little earrings, and it is so cute. And people are like, "Oh," and the dogs feed off that positive energy. So I don't see it as a cruel thing unless people use products that aren't safe for the dog to begin with.
And one silly question.
Yeah.
Are dogs bilingual?
If you teach them to be, I bet you they are.
Because,
I know some dogs that know, say, German, some German words, because the owners speak German and English, and they understand English words as well. So I think it depends on the context, just like small children. They're more than likely, because they say they pick up they know about as many words as a 3-year-old child. I think that's what they say as far as
That's a lot of
dogs.
words.
They do know a certain amount, more than likely more than we give them credit for. So, no, I do think some dogs can be trained with, 2 different languages and know what the owner wants, depending on what they use and they teach them.
thank you very much.
No